We are Cloudburst, band from Yogyakarta, Indonesia, and this is 10 albums that shaped our life. Number 10, Cloudburst, Meditation in the Empty Sky. I remember when I was in early college days and in 2008, and I was listening to the Saddest Day. This like very different music. Sounds like I know Norma Jean before, so it sounds like Norma Jean, but it's more chaotic and some dissonant shit. But at the same time, it's melodic, it's beautiful, and the lyrics, it's one of the best lyrics that I ever read. Jacob Bernays' lyrics never fail. And also another song from Medicine in the Empty Sky. It's also shaped our band as it is today. I remember one afternoon I listened to Saturday and I went to Hoge and I said to him like, this is one of the best songs that I ever heard, and it's kind of the starting point for Cloudburst, because after that we decided that we have to form a chaotic metalcore band or whatever. But after that, it's Saturday song, our life never been the same.
Number 9, Something Corporate, Played in Space. First time I listened to this album is when I work match for them, t-shirt match, and I was start to listen their music. I just interest they play the music, the melody, and yeah, I just like it. It's match for me, and
there's no influence of Something Corporate in Cloudburst, or you convey some of the musical elements of Something
yes,
Corporate?
I think I pick some music elements from them, and they inspire me to make music, and yes, that's it.
Number 8, At the Drive-In, Relationship of Common. I think this album is very unique because of the music is very progressive, and I like the rhythm of this kind of music, and I think and I said this is a masterpiece album from them. When I first hear the music, it's very this is very good for me, and I love their music when this album came out.
Number 7, Rush, Moving Pictures. This album there is no other album, no other album sounds like this. It sounds so complicated, but at the same time you kind of like very catchy. The lyrics can make you sing with them. The lyrics is so imaginative, like Tom Sawyer, and of course YYZ, like one of the best instrumental songs that ever recorded. A lot of musicians, a lot of drummer listen to YYZ and they want to become a drummer because they hear Nelbert drumming. And also me as a vocalist and a bass player, kind of really influenced by Geddy Lee. He play like just a simple blues scale blues riff, but it's so amazing. Like simple, but it's so complicated. Like you cannot describe it if you if you're not listening to it yet. But once you listen to it, you can get out of your head. It's so majestic. But at the same time, it's so progressive. It's kind of a mix of a different thing. And it's also one of the first progressive rock album that I ever heard. So this album really shaped maybe my musical journey and Cloudburst as a band, because I love to put a different time signature in Cloudburst music. It's because of this album.
Number 6, Go It Alone, Don't Be Blood Between Us. In 2000, around 2005 or 6, I listened to Go It Alone, The Only Blood Between Us. I don't know, it made me just click and try to listen to hardcore music. I don't know, this album is very catchy, simple, and melodic for me. And because of Go It Alone, I try to mix hardcore music to metal music in Cloudburst. Number 5, Foxtrot from Genesis. I love their music because of the atmosphere from this album is very unique,
and in this time it's very, other
Thick,
solid.
solid.
Thick in this year. And I like Peter Gabriel aura in this album because of he made more realistic in their music. And my favorite track is Timetable from.
Not Cloudburst ready.
I think that's itu juga.
That's your favorite track.
Yes.
Favorite.
But I more like Timetable because of the lyrics and the progressive of their music.
Number 4, Fugazi, Repeater. This album is my starting point for Fugazi in all post-hardcore thing. After I listen to this album, I listen to Red Hot Spring and American Football and the other post-hardcore kind of thing. And this album is more like more than an album to me because it started a movement within my musical journey, because that's the first time that I thought, wow, a punk musician can play this kind of music. Like it's so experimental, and of course, Guy Piano and I make it like, they don't care, they don't give a shit about what is this hardcore or it is not hardcore, is this punk or it is not punk. They just play, they just like playing music that defines their sound, Fugazi, and maybe people will listen to like 13 songs or reminiscing more, but for me, this album Repeater is my realization that you can play a punk music, you can play a hardcore music, but can play it good. Like all the other punk band, hardcore band. There is some stigma that we have to play simple, but Fugazi is not simple at all. So it's it's kind of like a liberation thing for me, because right now playing good is a cool thing to do, because I'm a Canadian guy. Thanks, Repeater.
Number 3, Norma Jean, Bless the Mother, Kiss the Child. This band around 2006 or something maybe.
The album came out in 2003, and maybe we started to listen to it like in late 2005 or early 2006.
When I heard Norma Jean, Bless the Mother, Kiss the Child, absolutely, I used to hate the cell phone track number 1. It sounds like, for me, it's like a bridge for me to listen to chaotic metal or chaotic or hardcore or metalcore or whatever, I don't care. And for me, it's very chaos for me. And this is for the first time I listen to Norma Jean. I try to make a band like that. Finally, I make a band with Cloudburst to play chaotic hardcore and mix from hardcore music, metal, and chaotic. That's it.
Number 2, Silver Metal, The Cure, Disintegration. This album, it's much more than an album for me, because this album, like, it accompanied me to, like, when I was in darkest time, because Robert Smith as a lyricist, like, he can paint a picture really well. Like, if you read the lyrics of The Same Deep Water, Close Down, and of course the title track, Disintegration, he do not tell the story. But he paint a picture. Like, there is, for example, in The Same Deep Water as You, the title itself, it's explained itself. The Same Deep Water as You. It's undescribable for me, because it just clicked. When I was the first track, when the keyboard kicks in and the whole drums and bass like starting, and I just love it. It's because the lyrics, especially the lyrics. Robert Smith as a lyricist like influenced me a lot in my Cloudburst lyrics, because it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's like a person came to you and said, "I'm just like you. I'm just a human being. I can cry too. I can be sad too." Of course, when people talk about The Cure, they talk about Boys Don't Cry and Friday I'm in Love, but this album is from top to bottom, from start to end. It's the whole package. You know, it's what defines The Cure. It has hits like Pictures of You and Love Song, but it also like one the best The Cure song is Celebration. And you know the way they put the track from track one to the last track, it's so, you know, it's like a journey. You know, when you listen to it, you can, you know, you can imagine like what Robert Smith want to say, what Robert Smith wants to express. You know, because maybe like the best Cure album and one of the best albums ever. That just not throw me like out of a lot of publications say that it's one of the best albums. So for me, check it out if you haven't listened to it yet, and you know, just enjoy the journey.
Number 1, Slipknot, Iowa. When I in junior high school with Okta, also everyone listen to Metallica, maybe Limp Bizkit, or Indonesian rock. It's called Jam Brother. Sounds like that. And at the moment, I try to make a song. What band is feels for me is like different with another band. And I came to record store and I saw the album with good logo and Slipknot font, and that's it. That I think is very different, and I try to listen. At that time, for me, Slipknot is like a bridge for me to listen metal band. Absolutely, and first track album number 1, people shit. Exhaust. People equal shit, yes, right. For me, at that time in 2002, for me it sounds like what is this? Six, it's motherfucker.
Actually, there's a funny story about this album. I remember in 2002 when I first met Boogie, and at the time I'm still listening to a lot of pop music like Backstreet Boys or Westlife, or you know, all those what MTV said to, you know, so people like listen to this band. And I remember I came to him like, no, that's so lame, you know, that's not a real music. Listen to this is a real music. Cloudburst coming out in December 20th in Indonesia, and for January 4th international. Please go spare your money if you think our music deserves a cent, deserves $1.